Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Isaac, and I'm the Community Engagement Specialist for this project. Thank you so much for coming to our information video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 2026 Sidewalk Gap Elimination Project. So before we get into the project, we're just going to introduce a couple key staff that will be your points of contact for questions and concerns about this project. Again, my name is Jasmine Isaac. Our project manager for this project is Francisca Chan. And we also have our transportation engineer, Cyrus Nahidi. In addition to our project staff, we're also working with some contractors who will be assisting us in this project. Wade Trim will be our project, and they are also our project staff. They will also be the ones that have conducted the land survey and data collection for the project site, and they'll be helping us design the sidewalk. So to understand a little bit more about why we do sidewalk projects, we can take a look at some of the plans and values that our city has adopted in the recent years. The Ann Arbor City Council adopted the Moving Together Towards Vision Zero Transportation Plan, as well as the A20 Carbon Neutrality Plan. Both of these are policies for a lot of the infrastructure that we do, and is what the city has undertook to improve our safety and, most importantly, our streets and your experience here at the city. A little bit more about Vision Zero, the goal of having no fatal or serious injury crashes on Ann Arbor streets by 2025. And this is being accomplished through the implementation of bicycle lanes, improved transportation. And lastly, our carbon neutrality goal is by 2030, our transportation system would contribute zero emissions toward climate change. So some of the key values that go hand in hand with these plans are safety, mobility, and accessibility for all. So there's thousands of residents in our beautiful city, and these are the values that we hope to have as we improve our streets and make it safe, mobile, and accessible for all. So the project purpose and need here for our sidewalk gap is to fill gaps so that we can improve pedestrian safety, have a continuous experience, and most importantly, provide more transportation options. And lastly, to make our city safe and walkable. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to our project manager, Fran, who will tell us all about the Sidewalk Gap project.
Hi, everyone. My name is Francisca, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how the sidewalk gap is prioritized. So in 2020, voters approved a 6-year new sidewalk millage, and this millage is going to be used exclusively for sidewalk gap filling projects such as ours. We also developed a prioritization system where we score the different sidewalk gaps in the city. We consider proximity to schools, transit, and other pedestrian attractor factors such as equity, classification of the adjacent road, community requests, and safety. So currently we have 442 miles of 442 miles of existing sidewalk and 140 miles of existing sidewalk gaps located in the city of Ann Arbor. If you want more information, here's the link to the online dashboard and an FAQ page on the Sidewalk App program. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the agenda for the rest of the time. I'm going to give a brief overview of the project timeline, the project itself, and then construction impact and next steps. So we're currently conducting the land survey and data collection. We should be done pretty soon. And we are doing this public engagement walkthrough as well as initial design these next couple of months. And then in the spring and fall of 2025, we will progress on the design of the sidewalk and also bid out the project. And we're hoping to start construction summer of 2026. So this project is captured in our city's capital improvement plans, and it's in line with achieving the goals that Jasmine was speaking about, the Ann Arbor Moving Together Toward Vision Zero. The project will specifically include Brockman and Crestland from Packard to Furden Road. So there's sidewalk gaps on both sides of the road, and the project will include filling those gaps on both sides of the road for these two streets. And in case you're curious, both the Brockman and the Crestline sidewalk gap, their score is around 4.8, and that puts them in the high prioritization category. For Barton, we plan to fill the north side of the sidewalk, as the south side already has a pathway. And it also has scored 4.87, placing it also in the high prioritization category for sidewalk apps. So I briefly wanted to cover a couple of terms that frequently get asked. So we plan to build the sidewalk on the row, which is known as the public right-of-way. So that is property that is owned by the city and includes the road as well as the strip of property behind it. As you can tell from the picture, it's that the hash line between the private property line, that's where the boundary is. Another term that you might also hear later on is a temporary grading easement. In the future, if for some reason we do need to enter your private property or, do some minor grading to put in the sidewalk, there would be an agreement between the city and the contractor and the private property owner to allow the contractor to make changes for a specified time period. Possible construction impacts. So there will probably be some changes to drive approaches. There might also be trees, landscaping, fences, and yard decorations in the right of way that might be removed or disturbed in order to make way for the sidewalk. And I do want to just let everyone know that if residents want to keep their personal belongings, such as fences or plants or decorations that are currently in the right of way, they are responsible to move those. We will not be replacing those if they're in the public right of way. Those should probably be in your private property, especially fences, but decorations and things like that in the future can of course be put back. Also, there might be some minor traffic restrictions depending on the construction and where the sidewalk gaps are located, as there will need to be room in order for the equipment and things like that. And of course, during construction, there will inevitably be dust and noise during working hours. We will make every effort to avoid any impacts to private properties, and we will directly coordinate with the property owners as needed. During construction, we will make sure that local access is still maintained for residents. You should always have access to your house, your driveway. Of course, there's some exceptions. If we're working in front of your driveway, when we're pouring the sidewalk right in front of your driveway, we might ask you to park away from your driveway for a few days until the concrete is cured. We will make sure that there is access to emergency vehicles and the mail and of course the trash and recycling and compost. So I wanted to put this slide here because this is also a commonly asked question. So in terms of the responsibility for the sidewalk, I mentioned that there is a sidewalk millage. So all of the sidewalk apps, Barton, Brockman, Crestline, these are going to be paid for by the city. We will also repair any future sidewalk repairs that are needed. And for winter snow removal, it is the responsibility of the adjacent property owner. But I know for some properties on Barton, the sidewalk will be located on the rear lots. And so that will be actually managed by our Public Works Department. They agreed to do the winter snow removal for those properties. Lastly, follow-up expectations. We have 2 guided walks scheduled the first week of October. The details are posted on our website, but I briefly included the information here. Barton Walk is on Tuesday, October 1st from 6 to 7, and the Crestline and Brockman Walk is Thursday, October 3rd from 6 to 7 p.m. There will also be a short survey for specific questions that you want to ask about your property or about the project, and that link will be located on the website. Thank you all so much for joining.